Hey, this is Len Kabasinski, and you're listening to The Cinema Psycho Show.
Oh, goody, goody, here it comes.
Welcome to The Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh, my God, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Brian, John, and Elaine.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Coddington, joined by my fellow co-hosts and filmmakers, John and Elaine Woolscroft.
What is up, my party people?
What is up,
I was going to
indeed?
say just the pussy I was looking for.
Oh, did I ruin that for you?
You know, you've gone to the What's Up Party people quite a bit.
Guys,
I like it.
Guys,
it's a good
I just want to
mainstay.
tell you guys, you guys are the cat's pajamas.
Get out of here. I don't get it.
You don't get it.
Well, we really should get started right meow.
Right, meow? Meow, meow?
You're the cat's meow. Elaine.
Oh, yeah. Don't be catcalling us, John, okay?
Yeah.
Cat puns. Oh, wait. No, sorry.
Listen, I used to write cat puns professionally
No, you
at
didn't.
like a real job that I had.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Really? That was
Yes,
one
I
of the things
did.
they had you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I was a writer, and
They
I
had
had
so
to
many
write
clothes with cats on
cat
them.
puns, and I was on the Cat Fancy website like twice a week.
Oh, my God.
It was my best life.
Oh, my God.
Kind of.
So what? We're on episode 139. You might be saying to yourself, why the fuck are these guys talking about
If
cat
you're still
puns
listening, thank
left
you.
and right? Yeah, if we,
Yeah,
if
right.
we look on
if we
Apple
haven't
Podcasts and
utterly
see a
lost
drop-off,
you.
if we see a drop-off in the first, couple seconds,
We'll re-edit this episode.
I will know exactly what it was. It was the cat puns.
It was.
So
We'll know.
we're episode 139, and today we are going to be talking about, oh my God, one of the worst superhero films.
Greatest.
You keep saying
greatest
greatest.
comic
John,
I
book
say-
John
I
is
say
like great
worst.
movie or greatest movie.
One of the worst superhero films I've ever seen, and that is 2004's Catwoman.
It is so surprisingly bad. I've never seen it. I had to watch it for the episode. I've never seen this movie because, I'm not really that into Halle Berry.
Well, we talked about Avengers Endgame a couple weeks ago, and and in the archive, we talked about Captain Marvel. We talked about all them comic book movies.
All
that
them
come out.
comic
All them
book
comic
So
book
why not
movies.
talk about the worst one ever made?
And this
You know?
one really is that bad.
It's awful. Oh my God. And it's funny, I was talking to John about this because we watched it together, and then the next morning I had said, I don't remember if in 2004 if the effects would have held up, though, because they're hard to look
'Cause we
at
didn't
now.
know any better?
We didn't know any better.
But yeah, when the Spider-Mans came out and it was like, wow, and then you look at them now and you're like, oh God, no.
This 2004 was a very weird time for visual effects.
Okay.
It was also a weird time for comic book movies.
It was.
Okay,
It was
'cause-
because wasn't Daredevil out?
Daredevil
Elektra?
had come out in 2003.
Oh, wait, is that the worst comic book movie?
Yeah.
Elektra might be the worst
Elektra
one.
had also come out.
Though I love Jennifer Garner. Please call me Jen. I want to be friends with you.
I don't like her in this.
I love her.
But
bag,
but
yeah.
yeah, 2004 was a weird time because really at that time, you had X-Men that had come out, I think in 2000. It had come out in 2000.
Yeah.
And we had X-Men the second one, X2.
A year prior.
A year prior. And so that
movie.
franchise is riding high.
Yeah.
And this is also weird for Halle Berry because this is right off of an Oscar.
yeah.
Yeah.
They always do an action
She-
film, right?
She won an Oscar for Monsters Ball and decided to follow it up.
You
with
got to think
this.
about how this was pitched to her. Sure, she got the script and was like, "Oh no, I signed the contract already." But you won an Oscar, so you've already done that part. But now you get to be in a big comic book franchise movie. Whoa! And the X-Men movies and Spider-Man movies are so popular. And Catwoman, she's an icon. This is gonna be huge. She's like, "Wow, this doesn't sound like this could backfire at all."
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
It's gonna be great.
but she read the script, right?
Maybe she signed the dotted line before
But
she read
I'm
it.
just saying,
Maybe.
you read the script, you got eyeballs, you can read things, right? And you're the star of this, so don't give me that line of "I only read my part."
Harrison Ford style.
Yeah, don't tell me that. You read the script. I know you had to have read the script. So, but anyway, just it was really strange to see her of all people in this movie.
She was an odd choice, I think, even back then.
Extremely odd choice.
She's not that popular
She was,
anymore,
she
right?
was.
She's,
Well, she was really popular at the time. And
she's
you-
really popular then,
you
and
know,
I'm saying she's not that popular
Do
anymore.
you guys remember the movie that Hilary Swank made off of her after her second Oscar? Core.
Oh my
That
God.
movie where they have to travel and blow nukes up in the center of the earth?
What?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So this isn't uncommon for like an Oscar-winning actor to.
Oh man, that had Aaron Eckhart in it.
Oh,
Two-Face.
Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah, he's in it. Too. Rachel. Yeah, but it was just a weird time for comic book movies, especially. MCU was not a thing back then.
Yeah, we're 4 years off from Iron Man.
4 years off from Iron Man. And visual effects especially were a little goofy because, like, The Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, they had basically, like, made a lot of those visual effects possible. And even then, they were kind of shitty. Like, I'm thinking of when Neo's battling all the Agent Smiths.
Oh, and it's like PlayStation 1 graphics?
Yes. Yeah. And at the time, they were like, man, it's so realistic. It's amazing. And I think that a lot of that kind of translated into some of these movies that you get out of that time period where they look like PlayStation 1 graphics.
Oh my, I mean, it is bad, and like I said, I'm trying to be fair. You know, I'm trying not to be like, oh my god, it looks like shit. I mean, of course it does. It's 2004, and the things that we can do with CGI now is insane.
Yeah.
You know,
we were all just so impressed that we could use this new tool that we didn't use it properly.
Well, I think that's one of the things.
Well,
It's
too,
a
I
stumbling
think the
block.
technology has grown because I don't know about you guys, but the thing that blows my mind. So, like, there's people who, you know, do the animation for these films. But then there's people who invent and develop the software so that these animators can work in these films in this way. I think it's crazy. Like, someone is writing that code, you know, or programming to that level.
Right.
You know, like, because there's programs that they like broke and like refigured out, like when they made Tangled.
Yeah.
Because of the hair, like they had huge breakthroughs in like hair technology because you'd have to, because a big part of the story is her hair.
Right.
You know, so I mean, to talk about the visual effects, like they are cringeworthy as hell. But like, too, if you look at some of the early Harry Potter movies, not good.
They're not good at all.
Not good. So I mean, I feel like that's, while it's a less enjoyable part of the movie, it's also like I have to like put it in the context. But there's so much here that's just universally terrible. So don't worry, everyone, we're good.
I have a dog right in front of me, so if you hear it growling on the microphone, that's my MacBook. You can't
my
do
goodness.
That.
He's
then
a
that might be
little
why.
riled up here. I'll take
He's a
your
little
microphone,
bit.
John. Why don't you see if you can?
Okay.
Let's see if
So
you can get him out of the cords.
We're going to try to get him out of the cords here, and we're going to leave this in
was
because
such
why
a-
the fuck not?
He was such a good boy earlier too.
You're a good boy.
He's been sleeping.
You're a good boy.
He's been sleeping, but he's just being a little
Come on,
bit,
buddy.
a little bit finicky right
Come on,
now.
buddy. Okay.
All right, babes.
So I think
He's like, I want
he's
to
like,
hang out
I
with
want to hang out with
Brian.
you guys, and the cords where all the microphones are. Oh, geez.
Archie, come on.
Oh,
we
big
got
kid.
a new dog, dear listeners.
Big kid.
And he's adorable.
He is adorable.
And he's just a little finicky right now.
So anyway, getting back to Catwoman as we're dealing with the dog here.
That's why he's so excitable, because we're talking about cat stuff.
That's right.
Dogman.
That's
yeah,
right. Dog
if we were
man.
talking about dogs, maybe he'd be a better boy.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah.
2004. Shitty year for comic book movies. Shitty year for Halle Berry's career, as we will see.
Right.
And the impetus of this movie is really interesting. So it kind of makes us go back even further in time to 1992 when Batman Returns came out. Because one of the things that was a great part about Batman Returns, even though I don't mind it, I could see faults in it, and you want to know about that, go listen to episode 1, which we talk about Batman Returns. But one of the bright points that people found with that movie was Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman.
Yeah.
They really liked Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. I know me back then really, really liked Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Giggity. Because I was like 6 or 7 years old, and I realized, oh, that's what a woman is.
And what is this feeling in
What
my
is
nether
this feeling?
regions?
So, you know, she was kind of a standout from that movie. And plans were basically put in place to try and do a solo Catwoman film starting then.
With her,
It was going to star Michelle Pfeiffer. It was going to have Tim Burton involved.
That would be great.
But then they booted Tim.
Well, that's exactly it. It got stuck in developmental hell for years. And ultimately, the drama behind Batman Returns led to Tim leaving, being kind of reduced down to executive producer position for Batman Forever. And Michelle Pfeiffer wanted to work with Tim again, and also she didn't want to do the whole catsuit thing because it was extremely
Couldn't breathe in
uncomfortable.
it.
Couldn't breathe. Yeah, she was vacuum cleaned in.
Yeah.
They
vacuumed
sewed her into it and then vacuumed it into her body.
Yeah.
And they haven't improved that over
No,
all this
they have
time.
not.
Like, I was reading that Chadwick Boseman's costume to be Black Panther is extremely uncomfortable.
Really?
Yeah, I heard it's like really, really tight and he can't like move.
Wow.
And and like they were trying to make improvements for it and they just like couldn't figure out a way. I guess like there's just certain costumes
things.
that you just can't get around.
Well, not in the same way, but like they had to put an air conditioning unit in the RoboCop outfit for the
Oh
second
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
because he kept passing out in the first movie.
Whoa, Peter Weller said he wouldn't do it unless they made changes to the costume, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't do the sequel.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like pretty prevalent.
And superhero costumes especially, like Batman always gets hit with that.
Yeah. And
Every
too,
Batman movie is the
and I
same
think
deal.
in this case with Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman costume, if listeners, you can keep that in mind. Like if you picture it, like it looks uncomfortable. So some people might be like, oh wow, she's turning down a movie. That's a dumb reason. Like I don't think it's a dumb reason. Like that's a lot of commitment.
If you're going to spend like 8 to 12 weeks, in that costume,
well, too, because like you have to like move and
So, but anyway, she ultimately left the project when Tim did, because they were kind of a package deal,
right?
And when that happened, it basically shot the whole thing wide open, and a bunch of writers had to come in. A lot of people had to do rewrites to it, and ultimately it ended up morphing into this bizarro film that we got like 15 years after the fact.
That has nothing to do with the comic book character. Like,
oh yeah,
this is not Selena Kyle. This is Patience Phillips.
But the thing is,
what a strange
the
name
thing is,
too.
They still are trying to tie it into Batman Returns.
In what way?
So, in the scene where Patience is talking with that Ophelia Powers person.
Oh,
that
yeah.
lady,
Crazy lady, yeah.
You can
Frances
see a
Conroy.
picture of Selena Kyle from Batman Returns in there.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's one of the yes.
Okay.
Because the whole idea is that Catwoman have been around for centuries.
Which, I mean,
she's
that's our opening shot.
Yeah, see, you get it?
The mythology of this film is so convoluted to me because they did try to play it off that way and kind of take it back to like the Egyptian mah, which is the word for cat.
Yeah.
And which is funny because that's the noise they make. Meow. Meow. But what I didn't like about, I didn't like anything about this film, but like there's no Batman or Batman universe. Like this isn't Gotham. It's has nothing to do with its origin.
No, this isn't Gotham. It is completely divorced from any connections to Batman.
It is. I agree. And two, the opening of the movie is just like a bunch of images of like badly photoshopped Catwomen throughout history.
It's like Joan of the Arc, and then they just zoom down to a cat in the corner, like, hello, meow.
Yeah, and it's just funny because John and I were like, well, it's a good movie when the opening credits are just a bunch of pages flipping. This isn't going to be boring or anything. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's
from the beginning, you know what you're getting into.
And self-narration.
Yeah.
Self-narration.
Day that I died,
and I was born
again.
Oh, any movie that's like, today I died. It's just, oh my God, I've heard that so many times. It is overdone.
The American Beauty trope.
Yeah, the American Beauty trope. So, this movie, it hurt a lot, honestly, to watch it.
What, to me, because I'd never seen it, it was fascinating to see like how society's changed.
It was an anthropological.
It was because
find.
I'm sorry, but 2004 was a fucking long time ago. I was a freshman in college in 2004. I'm a completely different human being now.
Yeah.
So what I found fascinating about this, also 15 years ago. But what I found fascinating about this is like a big part of the character here for Patience Phillips. She's this like mousy, like graphic designing executive.
Good
like,
job
for,
trying to ugly Halle Berry.
So hideously
movie.
ugly.
Oh my God, John made
she's
fun
a
of this so
monster.
bad. She has this like long curly hair.
Oh,
And she's
God.
like very
Ew.
schlubby.
Ew.
Her clothes are like weird.
Hey, you
but
know what would
no.
have been worse if she had glasses.
They didn't put her in glasses, surprisingly. But no, guys, listen. This is what I thought was really interesting about this film, where she's this, she's one of the graphic designers, like, and she's working like as a part of the marketing team for this makeup company, and she's like very unfulfilled by her incredibly amazing, high profile, successful job.
You know, I was going to say that too.
And that's not a thing anymore, because after the market crash in 2008, like, to find a job in your field is absolutely like the goal now. Like, it's so amazing to me. She's like, well, I'm not really an artist. Bitch, go draw on the weekends. You have a fantastic job. Like, don't knock this amazing opportunity
I was gonna
that you
say
have.
that. I was going to say that too. I saw this. I was just like, so let me get this straight. She is actually using her degree for a creative medium.
And you know she makes good money.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah, she's making good money.
She's got a medical plan, I'm sure. You know?
Oh, yeah.
She has
She's got
401k.
insurance.
Yeah.
She's probably been able to pay off some of those student
Dude,
loans.
she probably has
They
a
have
dental
a dental plan. Yeah.
Oh.
Jinx.
Jinx.
Can't tell we're married.
Yeah, so I'm like, let me get this straight. She feels unfulfilled in her creative life.
And like,
in her creative job.
she gets to draw at work too. Like, she's always working on side shit at her desk, and she has like a friend at work. Like, that's also rare to get along with your coworkers. And
it's like, what's the big deal?
You've biggest cliche in movie history, friend?
Yeah, it's like,
the horny friend.
and she has a gay friend too.
Lois Griffin is her friend.
Yeah.
So what's the big deal here? You've got the Merovingian from The Matrix Reloaded as your boss, and he's an asshole. Big shocker there.
Yeah, nicely done, sir.
Yeah, he's the same. He's playing the same fucking character.
Yeah, and he's an asshole, but whatever.
Yeah.
A Machiavellian mustache twirling dick.
He's the Merovingian.
God, right?
And then his wife, Sharon Stone, you bastard.
Oh my God, John said "you bastard" in that voice 17 times when we watched the movie.
Yeah.
And it was to the point, like where something's not funny for a while because it's been done so much, and then they bring it back and it's funny again. Like, that's how many times John did it. It became funny again.
Yeah.
The beer helped.
So yeah, we're introduced to Patience Phillips. Again, with the alliteration.
And I don't understand, like, what a
That's hard to
strange
say.
name. Like, what a strange name for her,
Yeah,
too.
no one is named Patience.
I've never heard of that.
No one is
Never.
named Patience.
Never.
Okay? That's like naming your kid, Sad.
Well,
That's Sad Johnson.
guys,
and
the director of this movie's
Happy
name
Hogan.
is Petoff.
Petoff.
Oh, yes. We
name.
didn't even
Forgot
mention
about
that.
mentioning
Yeah.
that.
You didn't mention that.
So I don't think he can say.
Now, you
what a normal
friended
name is.
him on Twitter. You followed him on Twitter, right?
Yeah, are his DMs wide open?
No. I looked.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Damn.
because I think if anyone could get Petoff on here to talk about this abomination of a film, like, I initially didn't think that Petoff was a real person. I thought Petoff was like
Like an
Alan
Alan
Smith.
Alan Smithy.
Yeah, I thought it was like, hey, let's throw some fake name up there, to not be Alan Smithy, But you're telling me that he's a real person who's a French.
Yeah, he's
And
a
I'm a
French
Frenchman. I come
director.
and make a big American comic book movie. You want some
Can
cheese?
we not be like? Can we never do that again? Like, can you not be hopelessly
Where are my cigarettes? Would you like some cheese?
nationalistic? Like,
Where's my
let's not.
stripes?
Christ.
Poodle.
Why don't you find a nice toy for the dog and stop talking for a minute, Kay?
We do have listeners in France, by the way.
We do have listeners in
Sacre
France,
bleu.
and I apologize to all of them for my husband's actions.
But like, I honestly, I don't think anyone else can pull off the single word name. Unless you're Prince.
McG.
McG, no, but
That's
because
that's 2 words.
You know what it is? It's a very nice warning that you're a douchebag, and I should never ever deal with you.
Even Sting is kind of a douchebag, but he's Sting.
Yeah, bless him.
Okay,
Agreed.
Bono is a douchebag, but
Yeah.
he's Bono. Like, and I'm sorry, but you can't pull off the one name thing,
It's
especially with a
no.
name like Petoff.
McLovin.
McLovin?
One name.
One name.
What are you, an Irish R&B singer?
Yeah.
But the point is, I found like her struggles to be very like trite and very like unrelatable, especially like in a different economic climate now in the year 2019. So
Friends who are real graphic designers, please tell me if you have the struggles.
yeah, and how much
of
student
Patience
debt.
Phillips.
Please tell me how much student debt you have, like for
Yeah.
real. So I think we can bang out the plot here in like a few quick bullet points.
Okay.
It's really not that complicated. She gets yelled at by her boss. Patience, we see that she's like a schlubster.
Jesus.
She's
not.
Baggy
She gets yelled at by her boss. She has to completely redo this like marketing thing.
Yeah.
Sharon Stone's his wife, and she is the worst.
Yeah.
And our dog has discovered the cat. Hey, we're talking about Catwoman. Our cat can guest star on the episode. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
She never comes down here. Well, not since we got the dog anyway. But so she goes to like return, like, and she went to her
With
place.
the new designs.
Yes.
Yeah, well, and she went to her place, and like there was this cat out the window that she tried to save, and she almost herself died, like stepping on a rusty air conditioner because she's a moron. and
And Detective Dreamy.
yeah,
like, thinks
Benjamin
she's trying to
Bratt's
commit
there
suicide.
for whatever the reason, and
he's there as discount man about
and he's like
male love interest.
and he's like, she tried to kill her. Like he thinks she's trying to kill herself, but he like definitely wants to get in on that. He's like, I'm gonna ask that out. My dick can fix this. So then she goes to deliver the project to her boss like at 11:45. It's due by midnight. I don't know. She like couldn't get a messenger,
She
and I
waited
feel
until
like
11:43 at
feel like
night.
she was waiting way too long.
there was this thing. It's called email.
Yeah, right. I mean, even in 2004, that was a thing. Good God.
You could upload it. And
Good
send
God.
it.
Absolutely.
Explain to me this electronic mail you speak of.
I mean, what is the cloud?
Well,
anyway.
there was no cloud back then. To be fair,
That's true. But anyway, so she goes to deliver this to her boss, but she like somehow the only unlocked door is to the secret illegal lab where they're running secret illegal shit.
Well, the important
I
thing
don't
to note-
understand
the important
that
thing to
at
note
all.
Is that this company is a makeup company.
Yeah, it is. But it's
is a
poisoning
cosmetic
the
company.
people. So that's kind of like a Joker
paper.
throwback, I guess, to like Joker,
Well,
love that
well,
Joker.
well,
Are we
it's-
just trying to
it's-
find any Batman connections?
I'm working on it, okay? I'm
Well,
trying.
what it is like they're making this face cream that is supposed to like reverse the aging process.
But it just like burns you and disfigures you.
It's if you stop taking it, it'll burn and disfigure.
and it
your
gives you like
face.
headaches and shit,
Yep.
right?
I think it's because people have been using brand X.
So she So anyway, she stumbles upon this lab and she finds out like a big secret and they try to kill her. They try to like flush her down the sewer.
The henchmen flush her out the toilet.
Oh, and they do kill her.
They do kill her. Yeah, she's dead. She dead.
And then thankfully some CGI cats from PlayStation 1 show up.
And like we drown in their
They-
like celestial eyes and they breathe life back into
they
her.
French kiss her. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. So
They're
that's your
French
fetish.
kissing her.
I mean,
If
you'll
that's your
finish.
thing.
Yeah.
You'll finish in this movie.
You'll-
And then the rest
Finish.
Oh,
and then the rest of the movie is
I'm gonna let him go. I'll let him go.
it's everywhere.
even the dog hates you. He just grumbled at
The
you.
cat is literally looking away like, I don't know
She's
him.
like, I am not associated with these people. Okay.
I think he needs to be
So now
fixed.
that you're done, the rest of the movie is her having like really strange and unpleasant cat traits. They stop just short of
What
her
were they
shitting
doing?
in a sandbox.
That
were
is
they
the only
doing?
thing they needed to include.
Only thing they didn't do.
Wait, when we were watching, I said they should go by a schoolyard and she should just have to take a crap in the
Yeah,
kid's sandbox.
I'm serious.
You know?
And then
go,
she talks to this like mystical cat lady for like 5 seconds to like discover her powers.
Her name is Ophelia Powers.
Uh-huh.
Do you get that?
Yup.
Feel your powers.
Oh yeah.
Get it?
I got
Get
it.
And Halle Berry's character is very
Don't want it.
patient.
Get
Don't
it?
want it, but I got it. And then she pulls like a slutty outfit out of her closet and then just like
Well, Halle
steals
Berry
shit.
does. You were just talking about Ophelia.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Halle,
Halle
Berry,
Berry.
pulls like a and slutty is like rude, so like a leather outfit.
Oh,
a
it's supposed to
fine
be like an
outfit.
S&M, like sexy
It's
outfit.
a fine outfit.
Yeah. Yes.
And then she tears it to shreds because, you know, when I'm like up against bad guys, I definitely want my entire back exposed so that they can slice me in half.
And you want your boobs hanging out.
Yeah,
right?
how
Like,
else can your
Always.
boobs jiggle in slow motion if you
Always.
don't do that, you know?
yeah, and then she has a confrontation with Sharon Stone, who turns out to be like the mastermind behind the makeup company all along the end. Thank you for listening to this episode. John, where can they find you? Oh, no, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. No, I'm serious, but that's like the plot.
I mean, the plot is pretty shoestring.
yeah. Oh, and
this.
Benjamin Bratt is the world's greatest detective because he matched 2 pieces of paper with the word sorry on it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm so impressed.
She misses the coffee date, buys him coffee, writes sorry on it, and then when she stops a jewel heist but then ends up stealing all the jewels, she returns them and writes sorry on the bag.
Yeah.
And he puts two
Except
two
for the
together.
ones she used for her claws.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like just
Kept
leaves
those.
that
Well,
evidence
she's
like
an
hanging
anti-hero,
around.
guys. She's an anti-hero. You know, shades of gray. This is shades of gray.
Shades of gray.
No, I think it's shades of cat shit.
Yeah, shades of brown for real. Shades of brown.
But yeah, but those cat traits were hysterically fun. No, who thought this
She'll
was a
just
good
like
idea?
clean herself out of nowhere like a cat would.
She eats cans of tuna.
Yeah, and she'll like sleep up above something. Like she's a cat, but
Get
like
it? She's a cat. She
I'm
likes
surprised she
catnip.
didn't knock anything down off of a
Well,
counter.
that's what I was saying. She should have just started staring at people and just like they put down like their can of soda or something like that, and she would just look at it and push it slowly off the counter,
Yeah.
like cats do.
It's like a dick
Cats
movie.
do that.
Or
Our
just
cat doesn't
vomit
do
on
that,
the
thank
floor
God.
and then
Yeah.
look at somebody like grossly uninterested, like you can clean that up.
That's our cat for sure. That's our cat.
Or-
But yeah, and it's interesting because her friend played by Alex Borstein. I don't remember her real name in the movie because I don't care.
Stereotype one.
But she was like, the horny
Lois
stereotype.
Griffin. Yeah.
But she gets like sick in the middle of the movie, and it's because she's been using the makeup, like beauty cream or whatever. She gets like these headaches, and Patience is like, you have to stop using this shit like right now.
It's important to note
But
that
isn't it if you stop using it, you like get horribly disfigured?
Well,
I think it was like early enough that she was going to be okay.
Yeah, it starts with the headache stuff, and then it
Apparently.
leads into the face
Apparently.
melting stuff.
Oh,
But the other thing
Lord.
to note
Face
too is that
melting.
the makeup, if you continue using it religiously, like Sharon Stone has, your face turns to marble.
yeah.
Ew,
And you get super
She
powers.
goes to, like, her husband goes to karate chop her.
Yeah.
And, like,
Karate
he's
chop
like,
her.
Oh, I broke my hand on your face.
That's right. Oh my God,
Yeah.
this movie's ridiculous, you
Yes.
guys.
So it's Catwoman versus Marble Woman.
Ha!
Yeah, 'cause
Miss
he tried to hit her
Marble.
like a real bastard.
You really bad.
You bastard. Yeah.
Yeah, she's being replaced as the head model, which is so weird because her husband dies and she becomes CEO. That's not really how that works.
She murders her husband
That's
and
not-
tries to frame Catwoman. It
Yes.
is bananas. This movie is BANANAS.
I'd say this movie is catastrophe.
Get out of
We're
here.
gonna have a drop off again. People are like, oh no, the cat puns are back.
Well, see, we need to just talk about why this movie failed so much because when we talk about Last Vampire on Earth or any Neil Breen movie, like those movies are independently made by people that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, and like
So,
they
of
don't have
course
any
they're
money,
terrible.
and like
This is a
of course.
multi-million-dollar project with like
You
professional
want to
cinematographers.
you want to take a guess how much this movie's budget was?
Okay, I have not checked. I'm going to say it was $80 million.
Higher.
More than that,
110.
$100 million.
$100 million to make this fucking movie.
Yes.
Wow.
$100 million. You know how much it made? $82 million.
I was going to say $60 million. Yeah.
So bad.
Oh, they
$82
took
million.
they took a bath on that one.
Oh
a cat bath.
man!
Well, this is
they took a
quite the-
giant cat shit.
Well, this is quite the Razzies winner too, isn't it? And
Oh,
this
yeah.
is one of the few times where the actor actually showed up to accept their Razzie.
Wait.
And of course, like part of me wants to say good for you, that's cool, because like Sandra Bullock did it and I was like, that's amazing. But Halle Berry did it too, but she brought her Oscar with her, and like that takes away its coolness factor to me, where she's like, see, I'm still good, like here's my Oscar, but I'm
think
gonna
it
be
was
really
supposed to be
cool and
ironic,
irreverent.
like, yeah.
You know, I
You
don't know.
Cuba Gooding Jr. went on to do Snow Dog, so don't give me that shit.
He went on to do Snow Dogs.
Do not give me
Oh
that
my
shit.
God,
Yeah.
fucking
Just because you brought your fucking Oscar. Well, you know what that makes me think? It makes me think that your judgment and your agent's judgment is flawed.
Yeah, right.
That's what that tells me.
Well, because I can see Halle Berry being like, "Ooh, Catwoman, that's a big superhero movie." You get a movie called Snow Dogs,
Like, you
and
knew
don't
exactly
immediately
what
go,
it's about.
Wait, no.
It's in the title.
Wait a minute, weren't you in that Tuskegee Airmen movie? Yeah, I was. Yeah, I won an Oscar for that. Oh, what are you going to do next, Snow Dogs?
Jerry Maguire.
Oh, Jerry Maguire,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, Jerry Maguire. I was gonna say now. I
Just
don't.
keeping the comment section clean.
Oh, well, okay.
I don't want
Yes,
to
that's
just like
you're
shit
correct.
on Cuba Gooding Jr. Let's move on.
But the thing is, like, Halle Berry is not a good actress. She was very good in Monsters Ball, but she is a
was.
horrible actress.
She needs a really good director, right?
Yeah.
That's what that means. Like she won an Oscar, which means she just needs the right
I thought
director.
she was excellent in the Flintstones movie.
She's in the Flintstones movie.
Yes.
Who the fuck is she in that?
She plays the sexy secretary to
Froderick.
no, not Froderick, but what's his face from
Mr.
Twin
Slate.
Peaks? No, what's his face from Twin Peaks?
Oh, Kyle MacLachlan?
Yeah.
Oh.
Remember, he plays the executive, and Halle Berry plays
No, I
the
don't
sexy
really. I saw that
assistant.
movie in '93 and thought it's.
You know who she plays? Her name is Sharon Stone in that movie. You don't remember that?
Interesting.
Yes.
It all comes full
It all
circle.
comes full circle. She plays Sharon Stone.
Get it?
Get it?
Because
Get
it's a
it?
stone.
Get it? Stone? Marble?
Yeah.
Marble lady?
But yeah, it's. I mean, venturing from the Catwoman lore that we all know is their first mistake. The thing is,
absolutely.
you have to nail everything if you're going to do that,
Yeah.
and they don't do anything right.
No, they completely. I think this movie was a reaction to movies like Spider-Man. I think it was a reaction to movies
Right.
even like X-Men.
Idiots
And-
will go to any comic book movie.
And you also have to understand, like, this is well before Batman Begins.
It was.
You know, so I think they didn't know what the fuck they were doing. To be perfectly honest with you, they realized, well,
Not
Batman's
before, it was 1 year.
Was it? I thought Batman Begins was 2006.
no 2005.
That's
5,
right, because
8, and
because
12.
you and I were watching
But-
it
or
on
My guess,
DVD in 2006 in the very beginning of our relationship.
my guess then is because of the fact that Warner Brothers knew that they had Batman locked up with Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins, that they knew they could not incorporate Batman in this.
Right.
It's
maybe.
like
what
kind
they're
of
doing
like
with
what
Venom
they do now.
now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They can't make Spider-Man movies without Disney's
Exactly.
permission.
Yeah.
But like nowadays, it's the same sort of thing where you have the DC superheroes like they're on CW, like Flash and Arrow and all that, and they can't incorporate Batman in them
That makes sense.
because Batman's being used on Gotham.
Right. Oh, right.
So it's the same sort of thing. My guess is that the studio said, well, Christopher Nolan's going to be getting Batman. We have Catwoman. We don't really want to have them shared. My guess is because they saw how bad the script was too.
Right.
And they're like, we really don't want to fuck up Batman Begins along with that. So keep Batman out of it. You know, like I think that was probably the reason why. Because I think that's what's missing. It's missing those elements that we know from the Batman movies and comic book universe for us to tie into. Like coming up with a completely unrelated plot with unrelated characters,
Right.
is probably the biggest flaw in this. You know,
The acting isn't very good either.
Yeah, and
the
I mean,
cookie cutter plot.
yeah, the plot by itself
this
is
is a
just
Hallmark
really
movie.
flawed. Really flawed.
This is a Hallmark movie.
with jiggly titties.
Yeah. Jiggly titties. But, you know, and a woman who works at like an ad agency is underappreciated and then meets like a guy who encourages her to do better. She has a horny friend and a gay stereotype friend.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she finds herself and the love of her life. This is a Hallmark movie.
Well, truly, I mean, if she didn't like clean her own butthole with her tongue and wear that fucking outfit,
that would have been great.
I mean,
fuck.
you would have watched.
Oh my
You would have watched.
You would've
But I mean, no, my point is, though, this movie could have been like, you know, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days if it wasn't for this like wacky extra
I'm
element.
sorry. I have an image in my head of Halle Berry in the bathroom cleaning her asshole with that stretch legs thing that cats do.
Sometimes I regret the things that I've said. Stop it. You're making the dog all upset. You're making him upset.
Oh my god, that's horrible, Lane. Horrible.
Oh, I farted in my own mouth.
But I mean, do you know what I mean though? Like this is like it's like they took the script from a totally different movie and just like shoehorned Catwoman into it. It doesn't make any fucking
Yeah,
sense.
they should have just not called
And
it Catwoman.
one of all the things that you could have done with the Selena Kyle character, with the Catwoman character, there was a lot of precedent. Like in
There
the
is.
literature, like there's a lot of great Catwoman comic books out there.
There are, and they just
A
completely
lot of stuff they
stumbled
could have done
over
with this.
it. This movie set them back from having Catwoman in there.
Yeah.
At all. Like it took a while before they even attempted to even do anything with Catwoman. It wasn't until like the end of Dark Knight series with Dark Knight Rises that they even decided to do a cinematic version of Catwoman, which I know some people have problems with Anne Hathaway as Catwoman. I personally don't. I think she's probably more true to the character than the comics than even Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman.
I don't have any problem with that ass.
Oh my god. I just want to leave.
Hey, when she's on that bat motorcycle, I mean, we've all paused that scene.
I just want to leave and never come back. Never come back. But I mean, there's a lot of great stories about Catwoman that they just missed, and too, I mean, there's some not controversy, but there is some discord on like her origins and where she did come from originally too. You know, I mean, some people say she was originally a stripper, you know, that sort of thing. I mean, but there's,
Well,
I mean,
that's Frank Miller.
That's
because
Frank Miller.
All women are
Right.
either strippers
Frank Miller.
or hot nurses. Or,
right.
You know.
Right. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, even if you weren't going to make a good Catwoman movie, it could have at least been more interesting than this one was. Because I'm not a big fan of the, you know, she's a stripper with a heart of gold, or, you know, she's just a sex toy, like, you know, kind of approach. Because Frank Miller is definitely not where I want my women's stories coming from. But
Are you suggesting that Frank Miller's the misogynist?
I'm actually suggesting quite handily that he's a total piece of shite. Actually. But anyway, but yeah, I mean, like, it could have just been more interesting than this movie. Like I said, nothing about this movie felt like Catwoman other than the fact that she had those, like, diamond claws and made, like, the occasional pun.
And licked her butthole.
You know, that was a cut scene, actually.
That was a cut scene.
It was a deleted scene.
I think that would have been hilarious because you would have been like, why am I doing this? Like,
I mean...
Because they also kind of present her as having split personality disorder.
Kind of, where she, like, does, like, aggressive Catwoman-y things, but then Patience is left behind being like, I didn't mean it!
Yeah. So she'd be, like, in the middle of licking her ass, like, why am I doing this?
This movie is actually very similar to the Venom movie.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Came out last
you,
year.
You have a point there.
Yeah,
it
that's
is
true.
Kind of similar. The other thing, too, that I want to mention is Benjamin Bratt, like, literally a pointless throwaway actor that gets put into these types of movies?
Maybe. He's not that great.
Because I don't, like, he was in the Miss Congeniality movies.
He was.
Oh, yeah.
And he was terrible in those, too.
And those movies are problematic AF.
But, like, those movies and this one kind of share the same thing of him just being kind of throwaway male love interest.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was kind of nice seeing, like, the male of love interest being, like, a fleshed out character. That was kind of nice.
Oh, I think he got a thorough character analysis during the basketball scene. I got
The basketball scene.
Tell me about this basketball scene, John.
well. They
Number
have
one,
basketball sex in front of children.
Real quick.
Basketball sex in front of children.
Dear listeners, if you have not seen this movie, see if this scene is on YouTube and just watch this part. You will be in tears. You'll be laughing so hard. It's ridiculous.
Because Halle Berry, she's like, oh no, I can't play basketball. I'll just trip like I always do. And then the cat part of her takes over. And as we all know, cats are amazing at basketball.
Well, because of them having thumbs, that's really helpful.
Yeah. And she's like,
Actually, some cats do have thumbs.
and she's like suddenly Allen Iverson, like playing on the court, and he's like showing his abs, and they're like, she's bumping her ass into him.
Yeah, she's like
and there's
backing her
little
ass up
kids
into
just
him. And
watching
like,
this.
yeah, well, because he's at a school or something.
Yeah, he's
and
like, don't do drugs, kids.
And she somehow knows he's there. Like,
Because she's a stalker.
She read the script.
there's a lot of problems, guys. It makes me upset.
But that's where she brings the sorry coffee. Yeah, and then they have basketball sex in front of kids.
It's really upsetting. It's really upsetting.
You know, the thing is, like, I want to say this movie was it was made by a Frenchman who doesn't know our customs, but this movie was made by an alien who doesn't understand how people interact with each other.
People
I
who
didn't
don't know
see
how to
Neil
human.
Breen's name on this. So
Yeah.
I can't say that
It
it
is
was made by.
Breen-esque, though, for sure.
It does have a little bit of that Breen charm to it.
Yeah, Neil Breen with money.
Neil Breen.
Yeah, right?
Oh, man. I don't know what else I got on this movie. Am I missing anything?
Well, I mean, just like at the end.
You sound so exasperated over
exasperating.
Well,
I'm sorry.
the end confrontation with Sharon Stone is absolutely ludicrous.
It's bonkers.
The effects are really bad.
Well, they had to give her some kind of super villain, right? Because in reality, she would just beat the shit out of Sharon Stone.
Right.
She's like a
She's
40 in the
superhero
movie,
powers,
a 45-year-old like emaciated like supermodel.
Right.
Yes.
Right. But yeah, so like, and I guess we wrap up the movie then, and it's interesting because they definitely thought they were going to make more of these. I feel because she tells Benjamin Bratt that she can't be with him because she has to go be Catwoman and shit.
So you get the Spider-Man ending.
Yeah.
Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
Yeah, but like they opened it up like. Clearly, they thought that this was going to make money. I don't think they realized what
I
it
don't
was.
think that anyone believed that this would spawn a sequel.
Well, they left it
I
open-ended
think
so that
the
they could.
director thought, hey, let's throw it in there.
Pitoff.
Pitoff, but it was like, hey, yeah, let's throw that in there just for shits and giggles.
Pitoff sounds like something you get at Panera.
But I would really be curious to know what Pitoff thought of this movie and why it's as terrible as it is.
He might probably just a schmuck for hire. You know,
Maybe
I really
he saw
would
like
love
the
to
pay
know.
grade.
The
and
Ratner
was like,
style, you know? What I mean?
I guess so, but like, you gotta admit, like this is really bad on a level that I'm surprised this didn't. I think this did devastate superhero movies for a while. And honestly, if Batman Begins didn't come around, I don't know if superhero movies would have recovered from this.
It was and the thing is, like, it's not. They didn't lose it in editing. They didn't lose it shooting. This is in the script.
Well, the editing is
Absolutely.
something to be said because the editing is ridiculous.
you see those documentaries where like the original script for Nightmare on Elm Street 3 was Freddy was going to be a gynecologist. And you're like, that's the worst thing I've ever heard. I'm sure glad that script got thrown away.
As it should have been, because it was hot garbage.
This is the first draft of this movie that like when they make a good version of it, they're like, yeah. And the first one, she worked at like an ad agency, and her name was Patience Phillips. It's like, wow, that sounds really bad.
Well, too, I mean, like, I think this is Hollywood hubris, though, because people, I think, shied away from comic book movies for years because they were like, oh, well, they don't make any money. Well, no, this movie was a hot, festering turd.
Yeah, it really
like,
was.
and so that's why it didn't make money, because it was terrible, not because it was a comic book movie. So, like,
Just
that's
curious to
something
see
that people
what
don't.
Pitoff has done.
Pitoff.
Oh, this explains a lot. He is a French visual effects supervisor.
Oh, not a director.
Wait,
That's
and
so
why are the
director.
visual effects so bad in this movie then?
Well, it was
He has
2004. They
only
might have been
had-
good for the time.
He is only okay. This makes a lot of sense now.
Please tell us.
Thank you, Wikipedia. So he's only done 3 movies.
Wow.
Period.
Wow.
He did a movie in 2008 called a TV movie called Fire and Ice: The Dragon Chronicles.
Oh, that's probably
And
great.
Prior to Catwoman, he did a French movie starring Gerard Depardieu
Oh God.
called Vidocq. With
Bless
a Q.
you.
With a Q. Yeah, Vidocq.
Vida?
Vidocq. I have no idea what that is.
Along those lines, and again, this again makes perfect sense. He was the second unit director on Alien Resurrection.
Got it.
The best alien.
But he was the visual effects supervisor on a number of French films for the most part. He won a Kids' Choice Award for Catwoman. Congratulations.
Ooh, I mean, that's like as good as an Oscar. Kids' Choice Award
What
winning
Kids'
pizza.
Choice Award? Best director?
He was nominated for Catwoman.
Best Frenchman.
Wow.
He won the Golden Raspberry for worst director.
He did.
But no, I guess Vidocq is actually somewhat decent. But it looks
He struck early.
and peaked.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But I was just curious. I'm like, I even never heard of him. He's never done anything else. So yeah, Catwoman pretty much fucked his career severely.
Makes sense.
I'm surprised they even let this film see the light of day.
The punishment fits the crime, I feel.
You know, I'm surprised they didn't, like, the studio didn't see it and be like, we're going to shelf this and say we never made a Catwoman movie. What are you guys talking about?
Amazing.
Didn't star Halle Berry? Like, is that coming out soon? Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about. There's no Catwoman movie.
Well, think about with, like, how Warner Brothers reacted to the Justice League movie. How, after it had come out, people had, reports came out that ultimately Warner Brothers knew it was going to be a shit show.
Right.
And they pushed it out anyway because they were promised bonuses.
Yep.
Yeah.
For that movie
that's
to come out.
disgusting.
So, like, they knew how bad it was. They knew it was
Business.
going to be terrible, but they knew that if they didn't get it out, they lose those bonuses. So,
Isn't
none of this
filmmaking
surprises me.
magical, everyone?
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood.
All right.
Do-do-do-do-do.
So our takeaways from this film: don't just have a first name because it means you're a douchebag. And
Yeah.
Butthole
and
licking.
I was going to say, and listeners, do not attempt to lick your own butthole. It's not going to end well.
One of our listeners is probably going to
you'll
say,
need to see
hey,
a
I lick my
chiropractor.
butthole all the time.
Hey,
don't know
well
what
then
you're
I want to
talking
know
about.
the name of your chiropractor.
And I
want to
see a video of it. DM me. Your butthole
Slide
licking.
into his DMs.
And then you'll run into the bathroom for 25 minutes.
Oh, God.
Oh God!
Peggy Carter.
Peggy Carter.
Nice callback, John.
I did do a couple
God.
weeks ago.
Oh, God. Yeah, Catwoman, man. It's a trip.
Yeah.
So, John, where can they find you at on the Twitter machine?
You can find me at Butthole Liquor 69. I know, I'm at the Unreal J Wolves.
Lane?
I can be found at crap in a sandbox. No, just kidding. LA_Croft.
You can find me at Brian Connington House from the Psycho Show page. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Psycho Show. You can also find us on the Epicast Network at epicastnetwork.com. If you have a favorite movie or question you want to throw away, you want to talk to us about how, you lick your asshole like a cat.
Or how Catwoman changed your life.
Or how Catwoman changed your life. You can contact us at cinemapsychoshow.com. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and iTunes, and we will see you next time.
Epicast.